What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I got another strategy that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Right, it's almost similar to the previous one, the RSI and the moving averages one that I posted, right? But now for the strategy we're going to be using one, the MACD indicator. So that's the only one. That's the only difference, right? So we're going to be using this for our boom and crash, right? And I'm going to show you the indices how we're going to be using this strategy, right? So I'm going to jump right into the settings for these indicators, right? Then we'll start the video on how we're going to be entering the entry rules, right? The time frames and all that stuff, right? So firstly, on the main chart, as usual, I got the 50 moving average, right? The method is exponential, apply to close, right? The style is black. I choose black. You can choose any color of your choice, right? I don't choose the color of your background, right? And then for the second moving average, you're going to be adding moving average is going to be period 200, right? Shift 0 method exponential, apply to close. Same as the previous indicator, but we're going to be changing the color only, right? So for this one, we're going to be using purple, right? Then click done, right? After that, we're going to be adding the MACD indicator, right? So just click there, search where it says MACD right over there. That's what we're going to be using. Right, we're going to be using the default settings, so you can just choose set to default, right? That's the default settings. Fast EMA 12, slow EMA 26, MACD SMA 9, apply to close, then red, then gray and red, right? Then click done. Right, after setting up the MACD, we want to see our MACD clearly, so we're going to be adding this moving average over here, right? Period is going to be 1, shift 0 method exponential, method simple, right? Then apply to, take note of the apply to, right? This is the most important part, right? So apply to, you're going to be applying this to the first indicator data, or if you don't want to use the first indicator data, you can say previous indicator data, right? Those are the only two indicators. Those are the only two apply to tabs that we're going to be using. Why? Because they average the previous indicator that we inserted, which is the MACD, right? Then after that, we click done. So this is the black line that we're adding, right? So that we see when the MACD crosses over quite easily, right? So I'm going to change this to 1 pixel. I don't like my line stick, right? So now it's more like it, right? So for the strategy, right? Firstly, as usual, right? Firstly, we're going to be first indicator. We're going to be okay. So for the time frames, right? We're going to be entering on the 5-minute time frame and the 15-minute time frame, right? I don't encourage that you use this on the 1-minute time frame, right? I only encourage it on the 5-minute and the 15-minute time frame. Though it also works on the 1-minute time frame, but I don't encourage it, right? So I don't encourage it because there might be spikes, and the accuracy of the strategy goes from 99% to maybe 90. So those are the chances that we want to reduce. So we're only going to be using the 15 and the 5-minute time frame, right? So for first confirmation, right, we're going to be looking for the 5200 cross on the main chart, right? So only enter in the direction of the 5200 cross, right? After the 5200 cross, wait for pullback to the 200 or the 50 moving average, right? So generally, if it pulls back to the 50 moving average, it usually falls straight away, right? But if it pulls back to the 200 moving average, it usually, most of the times, it forms an AM, right? So if you miss this first leg, right, you can also enter on the second leg, right? So that's just how you do it. So booming crash is, I can say booming crash is the simplest in this trade, right? It's got some behaviors that if you keep noticing them, you see that it's very easy to trade boom and crash rather than the indices, right? But boom and crash is also way riskier, right? But if you want to learn those chart patterns, those behaviors that it does, that boom and crash do, right? Especially the 300 series and the 500 series, right? If they've got some certain behaviors that you repeat, right? So if you know those setups, if you know those patterns that it usually does, right, you'll be good to enter, right? So, but I'm going to be sharing with you just a little bit, right? But if you want to know those behaviors, I think I will leave a link in the description, right? Or you can hit me up and I'll teach you personally, but for a fee, right? So after the 52 and cross, right? So let me use this example right Right, so after the 50 to 100 cross, right over there, right, after 50 to 100 cross, wait for, so after our 50 to 100 cross, wait for the candlesticks to pull back to the 50 moving average or the 200 moving average, right? After that has been out of the way, we check for indicator window, right? That's when we'll be using what? The MACD, right? So on the MACD, what we want to see is right over here. Let me zoom in just one. Right, so MACD, we're going to be checking what? This level 0 over here, right? So if the MACD bars, these small gray bars, right? If they are below level 0, right? If they are below, it's a downtrend. If they are above, it's what? It's an uptrend. Right? So these bars are below, is what? A downtrend. They are above, it's an uptrend, right? So now that that's out of the way, right? So right here we got our 50 to 100 post, right? Then go back to the 50 moving average, right? Then check for indicator window, right? And right here the bars are below the level 0. So it's confirming what? That it's a downtrend, right? So how do you enter? When do you enter, right? So the first entry is for those that I was mentioning, like if you know the behaviors of what? Boom and crash, right? It has got some certain behaviors, right? I will leave the link in the description where about the video that I talked about it, right? So that's the first entry, right? And for the second entry, though it's a little bit late, right? You enter when the red and the black line cross, right? So right here we've got it also crossed here, but why don't we enter over here, right? So here we've got divergence over here, right? How do I mean by divergence, right? So divergence right here, we're creating what? Lower lows, sorry, and lower lows right here, right? But we're creating what? Higher highs right here. So we don't take what? These entries because we don't want any reason to lose our money, right? So after that, we've got what? Our first entry will be right here, right? Why? Because as you can see right there, right? Let me change this color, right? Paper, right? So we're creating what? Lower lows on the main chart, but we are creating what? Sort of like higher highs on the indicator window, right? That black line that was there, that's what I'm using, right? So this is what hidden divergence. There's a video that I talk about divergence. I will leave the link in the description down below, right? So we've got hidden divergence that is further confirming that what is a downtrend. We've got our 50 to 100 cross that's confirming that it's a downtrend, and our MACD is below the level 0, confirming further that it's what is a downtrend, right? So that's just what you'll be doing, right? So on this study, you just have to make sure that the MACD is below the level 0, right? That's when you want to look for entries, right? As you can see, I usually like the MACD and the RSI. Those are the core strategies, core indicators that I use. Why? Because they are very accurate. They don't lag. They don't repaint. Unlike the moving averages on the indicator window, they repaint. If you put the moving average on the indicator window, it repaints. Right? Though I use other strategies, but I always confirm using these to the MACD and the RSI. Right? So that's just how you trade using one strategy, right? So right here, go to 5200 cross, right? Then go back to the 50 moving average over here. Wait to the 50 moving average. Wait for this one, for this crossover here. For that crossover there, here it formed one. And aim get the confirmation that we're going to be selling, right? So after that, we wait for, or you can just enter in using one the strategy, the method that I was saying, right? So usually when boom and crash is about to reverse, right, it slows down, right? It consolidates, right? So as you can see right here, it's after a green candle, it's a red candle, green, red, green, red. So this is showing what sort of like a flag, small flag. Right? This is showing more. So this is showing the decrease in momentum, right? So that's generally the method that I was mentioning, right? So a decrease in momentum usually supports what a reversal, right? As in like here, right? How do you know that this moving average won't be respected, right? It's showing strong momentum because it's only green candles right there. So this most probably won't be respected because it's showing what momentum, right? So that's just how it's just a game of what momentum and booming crash. So If you like this video, like, subscribe, and share the content. Right? So I'll be back again with another strategy for you guys.